Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Philip here, also known as PS or PS Enough in the demo scene. So I did a video about the American demo scene and what demo parties exist in the American demo scene a couple of weeks ago, but I made a few factual errors. So I decided to do another video, maybe improve the quality a little bit. I'm gonna actually show a few of the demos that won these demo parties on this particular video. So let's get right into it. So demo parties in the American continent. There aren't that many on the south side of the American continent. Places like Brazil have some demo sceners but never had a demo party. Places like Argentina do have a regular demo party, but they don't seem to have many active groups. And then there's the North American demo scene and the Canadian demo scene, which seems to be somehow connected and somehow both of them active. The first demo party that there are records of is Nade, and Nade was first released in, or first occurred in '95. I believe it was held in Quebec, so in the northern part of the US. I believe Quebec belongs to Canada. I think, I hope it's Alaska that belongs to the US, right? So it's Quebec in Canada. Should be. I should be correct. Anyways, 95, you can see a lot of early groups that became famous on the demo scene later on. The Cheese Brigade, Cosmic Free Music Foundation become very known. Psychic Monks also were pretty famous at the time. A lot of groups, Pure Resistance. This was the first party that happened in the US. They had a follow-up in '96. And the video I had selected for Nade was exactly Trans Cheddar Express, which should be playing now if I'm any good at editing stuff. You can see a lot of a lot of entries to start with on this edition, and they had a 100k competition for the PC, where Threesome won with Dyslexia. They had a lot of entries for the PC demo compo, which was won by this demo that is playing now, Trans Cheddar Express by the Cheese Brigade. They became a bit known. Second place for Infinity of Craw Productions. Third place for Explicit of Ornet and OTM. Not much else to say about Nade. They only had 2 editions, unfortunately, and then afterwards the replacement party, there were a couple of them in the US. There was Crash in '97, which most famous production is this Nature by Vertigo, supposedly the first demo using 3D acceleration for PC. It used the 3DFX Glide drivers at the time. It's known mostly for that. I will also play it. I should already be playing for you guys. The second place was Explosive by Satire. Third place, Seven Deadly Sins by the Net Generation. Not that many entries, not as many as the previous Nade parties, but it's a smaller new party, so it's normal. An even smaller party that also happened in '97 was Spring Break. You can see the releases here. I only have I think there was only 1 release of it. There were 3 editions of Spring Break though. But on this first edition in '97 we have Esperflow by Miracle. I remember playing this demo a few times as well when I was using my DOS machine back in '97, '98. And we will play that demo here. I will take a quick look at the other years and go through the results a little bit. '98 on Spring Break. We had Out of Sight, Out of Mind winning the PC demo compo by NC Creators in Demand. Acronym ACID, a very famous group in the art scene, doing ASCII, ANSI, and also other kinds of artwork, releasing a lot of art packs, which was pretty big on the US at the time, a lot bigger than actually in Europe. In '99, there was also a Spring Break. Loop by CSR won that one, a demo for Linux, curiously enough. Not Foolish 2 by Green Grapes came 3rd place. There was no 2nd place here. Why not? Let's take a look at the results. who won second place? Entropy Increasing by k-rad for Macintosh. So plenty of different platforms early on Spring Break. So that was Spring Break. I think it happened in San Diego. So different location from the usual stuff. Then we have to jump down to Argentina for Flash Party. Flash Party has been around for 20 years now. The first edition was in '98. And you can see the combined demo compo was won by Alchemy of De La Bualama, supposedly a group from Mexico. I know from known sources that it was actually a fake group made by some guys in Finland, pretending to be Mexicans, and they have some lucha libre references a lot and stuff like that. A lot of Mexican culture, random references with typical demo scene effects. They are cute demos, but nothing overwhelming. You should probably be seeing it by now. Anyways, 99. There weren't that many entries as well, as you can see. One again by De La Bolama, so they're really controlling Flash Party entries. Then they had a little hiatus, and then they started organizing it again in 2003, all the way to 2007. I'm gonna skip those entries, but they do have, I believe, QOP is an actual Argentinian demo group. So they do have demo sceners active in Argentina. The latest party that they organized was actually this year, 2018. They managed to restart it again. Not that many entries, most of them were remote entries, but it's good that they're having a party again and they have people around it to look at things. Anyways, moving on the United States scene. Actually, in Canada, Coma was starting to be organized. We had 3 editions of Coma Demo Party. Do not be confused with Coma Demo Parties that were happening in Europe earlier on. I made that mistake on the previous video. I apologize to everyone. Coma was actually a name of a group, an Amiga group, I believe, in Europe, and they were helping organize a World of Commodore, which ended up being called the Coma Party in '94. There was also a group, I believe, in Denmark that was organizing some sort of LAN party. They might have demo scene stuff related in it. At least they did an invitation for it, and that was in '95. Those are 2 different Coma events, not related to this one. This one was in Canada. The first edition in '99 was won by Hypodermic by Creative Impact. You should be seeing it now. Second place for Mogul of Inca Masters. Third place for Sci-Fi Thrills from Suboptical. 2000 edition had a lot more entries, 12 entries showing up. First place was won by Infiltrator of Creative Impact, and second place by Run Scene Run by Suboptical. So you can see the same groups popping up. The Mighty Cheese Brigade also showed up, and the Dennis Courtney 5, which is one of my personal favorites because they have tie-ins with the Palm, which is my group, as you should know. In 2001, the ABC demo by The Project 1, followed up by Future Number 2 by Razor 1911. So yeah, 3 years of Coma Demo Party. It's pretty good. And then the American demo scene sort of died off. And a couple of years later, this guy called Legalize discovered the demo scene and decided to try to do something. And he started organizing Pilgrimage 2003. He had a very good invitation intro made by Explosive, which were some European sceners, but they had tie-ins with the American scene. Black Pawn was an American scener who was part of Explosive. So they did the Pilgrimage invitation, very cool demo, should be playing now. And then later on, when the demo compo actually happened, there was this very cool release that I personally enjoyed, at least, called Kvak by k-rad Productions and the Dennis Courtney 5. Music by Basshead, which is a favorite tracker scener from mine, from the 5 Musician days. They did 3 editions of Pilgrimage, 2003, 2004, and 2005. 2004 we saw a few more other new groups showing up. We can see Northern Dragon started doing stuff, Trailer Park Demos also releasing stuff, and a pretty famous demo that was released at the time was 8088 Corruption by Hornet. This was made pushing the limitations of the DOS in the text mode, I believe. It was doing compression well done in 88 computer. There was Pilgrimage in 2005 as well, won by Northern Dragons with the demo called Euro Trash. The second place to Free Fall from Trailer Park Demos. The Wild demo also had a few entries for a lot of different platforms, PlayStation Portable, even Flash. And then some people didn't really like Legalize, the way he saw the scene, the way he perceived the scene, the way he was arrogant in some aspects against European sceners. So another party popped up in response to Pilgrimage, which was Block Party in 2007. It was organized out of Nodacon, which is this hacker makerspace conference kind of thing that's happening every year. I don't remember the location out of my head, but for 5 years they organized the Block Party there. I believe it was organized by Radman of Acid. Then when this one fell off, it was picked up by someone else who organized Pixel Jam for 2 more years, also as part of Nodacon, so keeping the tradition alive. Anyways, from this Block Party 2007, we see Trace Symbol by Northern Dragons, who won the compo, followed by Explosive Trailer Park Demo. So you see the usual people that show up at the American demo parties. There are some recurrent groups from the United States demo scene. That's what I wanted to point out. But there are also a few newcomers, which is always good to witness. Block Party happened again in 2008. The winning demo was the invitation for text mode demo compo by Northern Dragons and Balls. You can see Trailer Park Demos Forever second place, with this time with a demo called Zephyr. GL Fusion also doing another entry again. Coda doing an entry. He ended up becoming quite famous in the demo scene. Wild demo, once again, a lot of different platforms in competition. 2009, we see Sans Titre by Northern Dragons and Brainstorm winning the compo. Flash Throw by Necros coming up second. So pretty reliable stuff. Also, Abort Retry Fail was pretty cool demo by Dennis Courtney 5. I think it was made in Q Basic. It was really cute. I really suggest you guys check it out. 2010, Size Doesn't Matter by Coda. He ended up winning this competition. We talked about Coda before. Second place for Northern Dragons and Balls with Sweet Peg Ho. And third place for Brainstorm with Box Festival. In 2011, the last year of Block Party, they only had the invitation, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe someone who was part of the whole event has more information. A Pixel Jam was organized, though, I believe in 2011 and 2012. Let me check my notes real quick. Yeah, 2011 and 2012. So maybe it was already starting to get called Block Party / Pixel Jam. I'm not sure. If you guys have any more intel, feel free to write it on the comments below. Meanwhile, while this was happening, NVIDIA took an interest on the demo scene, and NVIDIA is based on the United States, and they wanted to make big shock to the Japanese brain, so they got a few European demo sceners and asked them to help organize NV Scene. There was this massive invitation demo made by Farbrush and Nero. You can see a lot of hearts there, and then the compo was really strong. A lot of interesting releases. The comeback from Orb with Stargazer, the comeback from Andromeda with Stargazer. Orb was already active. Into the Pink by Plastic was also a pretty famous demo. You can see a lot of nominations and awards given out at the time by the CNORG Awards. N0505 by Explosive, Midnight Run by ASD, Binary Alchemy by Northern Dragons. So see a lot of famous groups, 15 demos delivered to this compo, and 19 entries delivered for the PC 4K, with also 2 very high rated very famous entries. Texas by Keyboarders was such a big hit, and Receptor by TBC was also pretty famous at the time in the 4K community. So very good hit for this Envy Scene 2008. Unfortunately, the money ran out from Nvidia. They stopped carrying as much for the demo scene at the time, so they only reorganized it again 6 years later in 2014, and something smaller, not as big as the previous one. You can see some appearances by Eternal Dream of Beauty by Still. I don't know whose Secret Rooms is from. Let's check it out. By 11. I don't know him. I don't remember this demo. I'll have to check it out after I record this video. So yeah, they did it again in 2014, and then they did it once more in 2015, the last year that Envy Scene was organized. You can see that the PC demo was won by Still and Coronoid, by Coronoid of Still, in the year that Still was really pushing out their tool. It's called Tool. The tool they used is called Tool, and they were doing a lot of interesting demos using that. Also, Photon by Fairlight got placed in second, using a very interesting photon realistic rendering style. Fear the Setting Sun by Dead Roman. It's an acronym for Andromeda. So a lot of big names competing for this demo compo. Anyways, while Envy Scene was doing these things, another party popped up, I believe in Harvard, or in Massachusetts area at least. I'm not sure if it's connected directly to MIT or not. I think it was around the area with some connections, but not actually in the campus. Anyway, it's called At Party. The first edition was in 2010. They've been happening recurrently all the way to 2018. I'm going to show you one of the demos from here, which is the Computer Candy Overload, which was actually an invitation for the Assembly Demo Party in 2010, made it by United Force and Digital Dynamite. Ended up getting nominated on that particular year for a Sinorco Award. Props to At Party organizers. They've been keeping it steady every year, reorganizing it again. 2010, 2011. You can see some more entries by Coda, as I mentioned before. He ended up becoming quite active. That's the Spirit by the Dennis Courtney 5, also quite active, with some remnant members from Ornet. Very nice by Lewis. Lewis would become pretty active as well in the American demo scene. 2012, another edition. Living in a Box by Cybernetic Genetics. Northern Dragons, always active in the North American scene. They're mostly a North American group, so it makes sense that they mostly complete in North America. Fulcrum also having some entries. They have some American members, although most of the members are based in Europe. They do have some American members as well, so they end up releasing in both sides of the Great Pond we call the Atlantic Ocean. Dennis Courtney 5 winning the old school compo there. And they had an OHP demo compo, which is always interesting. And this demo is particularly cool because it made use of these tricks where you cross two different line-based shapes, and they form this animation, which was used early on in animation tricks, and they reused it for this OHP demo. It's really cool. If you don't know it, you should check it out. OHP Mega Demo 9000 by Desire and TRSI. Also 1897 by Kabarian was pretty cool demo for the GP2X. 2013, oh, there's an entry of mine there. Under a Steering Sky, it was my game entry that I released there. 2013 also happened at Party. I'm gonna skip a few of these years, otherwise we'll be here a long while. St. Vincent and the Grenadines ending up being a very active demo group as well, and also popped up at Art Party for the first time, I believe. See, 2014, 8088 Domination by Ornet, the continuation of their 8088 Corruption demo. This one was also pretty highly acclaimed. League of Telepathy got second place by the Dennis Courtney 5. Both of them pretty cool demos to check out. 2015, Jellyfish the Jam got first place, followed up by Youth Uprising. I'm gonna skip a few years just because there are so many entries. Combined Demo for 2016, and they ended up having 2017 and still happening this very year, 2018. There were a couple of editions of At Party as a mini demo Montreal in 2011 and 2010. You can see in 2010 they only had 3 entries, and I believe this was organized in Montreal, maybe by the same people related, people who wanted something similar to At Party happening there. I don't know. You'll have to check the organizers, but it's cool that they made it. 2 entries. They haven't done it in a long while, and yeah, that's it. 2 other demo parties are still active this year. One of them is Demo Splash. It just happened a few weeks ago. The first edition was in 2012. You can see Primas by Youth Uprising. I'll play the demo for you now while I go talk through the other of the years. Then in 2013 in Demo Splash we had lesser entries, but it's good that they still organize it. 2014, similar thing. Clouds by Orbital Decay won the PC demo compo there. 2015 we have a combined demo intro compo which was won by Koma Sutra by Rift. Second place for Radio Silence of Neurotica EFS, and the future is yesterday. Third place For Processing by Bond Square 2, getting 4th place. That demo was particularly highly voted. Light is Strange for the 5th place by EOS, and Disco by Goblinish for the 6th place. 2016, less entries than usual. 2017, we have a few more. One by Fulcrum this year, and quite heavy old school demo compo as well, which is always cool. 2018 we had a winner demo for the Apple II, the Apple II Mega Demo by VMW Productions, and followed up by the Golden Age of Fujitsu Micro, probably for the Fujitsu Micro, I guess. So cool stuff that it still happens. Demo Splash, I recommend you guys check it out if you're in United States. Then the last party that I wanted to mention is Synchrony. Actually, there's one more. In 2018, I believe there's a party called Layer 1. I believe it's part also of a hacker conference, similar to what was happening with Nodacon. So Layer 1, I think they released like a board, and they were asking people to try to do demos with that board/badge that they usually give out at hacker conferences. It's a thing in hacker conferences. They like to do their badges and make it hackable so people can try different stuff with it. And Layer 1 tried to do some Demoscene related stuff around it. I don't know how it picked off. I haven't heard anything else since the party was originally announced. I don't know if it worked well, if they had a lot of entries or not, but it's still worth mentioning in this video. Anyways, the last party that I want to mention was Synchrony. It happened 2016, 2017, 2018. In 2016, it was won by Cocoon when they were in that role of making a demo for each demo party that they were visiting or participating. In this case, a Happy New Year demo. And the Synchrony is happening around early January, and it's actually interesting because it happens on a train. It starts off in New York and ends up, I believe, in Montreal. So you do the train ride and then you present the demos at the end of the train ride. So pretty cool. It's connected with the MagFest, which is this computer game, computer music kind of festival stuff. So they have that in the beginning of the party, then everyone catches, or the demo sceners catch the train. They go all the way to Montreal and they show the demos at the place there, which is also somehow related to MagFest from what I know. Anyways, this was 2016. In 2017 they had a few good entries as well. New York Beautiful by Balls won the combo on that one. A lot of entries for the combined 256 bytes competition. and a couple entries for the old school demo. Don't Mess with Texas was pretty famous, got a couple nominations, was for the Texas Instruments calculator, I believe, hence the name, Don't Mess with Texas. Pretty cool stuff. And then in 2018, latest entry, not that many entries as before, but still worth mentioning. And they're planning organizing it again in 2019, so go check their website out. It's synchrony.nyc, so go check that out. And that's it for this video. Hope I redeemed myself from the previous one. I know it was a bit sloppy, I apologize for that. And the American demo scene deserved better, and so I wish to comply, and here it is. Hope it's a better reference video now. Thank you everybody for watching. Let me know your comments below if I still missed something or I got some facts wrong. You know, I'm only human, it can happen. And bye bye, see you next video, take care.